What is going on with the riots in Hong Kong? If you're like me, you're watching the news and you're like, what is up with that? Well, let's figure it out, because I just did, and it's a crazy story. What's going on with Hong Kong, why they're going back to China, and how they became independent in the first place. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Okay, so let's get in our Wayback Machine. Let's go back to the 1800s and a little company called the East India Company. Yes, the one from the Jack Sparrow Pirates of the Caribbean movies. We're the East India Trading Company, and they were bringing boatloads of opium to China. Boatloads. Now, the Emperor of China was like, this can't be a good idea. This doesn't seem, in England's like, oh, lighten up, baby. It's just opium. What do? You smoke it and you get sleepy. There's no side effects. You just smoke it and have a good time. Relax, China. The Emperor didn't dig it. It kept coming in, and millions of Chinese were addicted. Like millions and millions. Over 10 million, they estimate. Chinese people addicted to opium. Boom! Lights out. So the emperor's like, all right, we've had enough. No more opium. China's and England's like, oh, come on. Just have it. Loosen up. Put on some jazz records. We're gonna smoke it and just get a little cray-cray. Well, there was an opium war. China had had enough. They kicked England out, and no mas. England still held on to a little hunk of land called Hong Kong. We'll just take Hong Kong. We'll stop Hong Kong. Well, if there's one thing we know about England, they don't give up easy, right? They didn't give up on us. They lost the American Revolution, then they came back in War of 1812. Well, they did the same thing to China, baby. They lost Opium War round 1, but they came back for round 2, and they won. And they opened up the opium trade again. They teamed up with the French and some Russians, and it was crazy. Come on, you guys, more opium for you. Relax. So they won. They held on to Hong Kong. The Opium Wars didn't really end until the English realized just how horrible they were for literally pushing drugs on an entire civilization. Finally, some dude in Parliament was like, this is jacked up, you guys. It was because his sister was an opium addict, and it didn't turn out well for her. So this guy in Parliament's like, we should stop. We should really, this is like classless. We're just we're drug pushers at this point. So they stopped it, and that was the end of the Opium Wars. So England has this little hunk of rock called Hong Kong. The rest of China starts to come out of their opium days. Like, whoa, that was crazy, man. What were we doing, huh? So, smash cut to after World War II. After World War II, communist China. Now here's what happens. Regular people in China don't have guns. Communists do. That was a dark day in the Chinese history. Lots of dead Chinese, like millions and millions and millions. Look that one up. That was a terrifying little revolution. However, Hong Kong was still like a part of Britain. And yay, we're free, we're alive, we're not gonna die like over in mainland China. So communism continues to thrive, but so does Hong Kong. Hong Kong's like, yay, capitalism, they're inventing stuff, they're digging, they're building buildings, it's crazy. So as China becomes more modernized, and it's now 1970s, 1980s, getting into the 90s, they're like, we would like Hong Kong back. And England says, okay, well, sorry, we just letting some things, we felt bad about the whole opium thing, but yeah, you can have it back, So like in 1997, July 1st, England's like, okay, take it, it's yours. So they decided to transition. They're gonna slowly transition Hong Kong back into mainland China. They call it, one country, two rules, something like that. So by 2047, that's when Hong Kong is just full-on communist China again. So if you're a kid, it's almost 2020 now. It's not that far away. If you're a kid in Hong Kong, you're digging your life, you're digging your freedoms. You don't really want to go back to communist China. Well, too bad, because China's not going to wait around. They started this extradition thing where China can just accuse you of a crime in Hong Kong and bloop bloop pluck you back to the Chinese mainland. Scary. So people are not digging it, and they're marching in the streets. I believe they want to stay independent. They want to stay Hong Kong and not China. But here's the problem. Just like when the communists took over China, Bad guys have guns, good guys don't. And in Hong Kong, you can't have a gun. It's really, really tough. The only way you can have a gun is if you're like a member of some hunting club. So there's an idea. Maybe the citizens of Hong Kong would suddenly want to start a Hong Kong hunting club. But that's the scary thing. I don't know how they're going to get out of it. I don't know how you can fight it. It's going to be bad. And I think it's going to get worse for Hong Kong. See, this is the brilliance of the Founding Fathers. Everybody's talking about guns, guns, guns over here. But here's the deal. When America first got started, the second thing those dudes did was like, all right, very important. Everybody gets a gun. Everybody gets a gun. That's in case some jacked up tyrant gets in charge and the good guys have to fight back. At least it's fair. At least it's level. At least you have a chance. Those guys in Hong Kong, my heart breaks for them. I don't think they got a chance. And they got to be digging the liberty and the freedoms that they have now. And it's tick-tock on the clock. 2047, it's back to square one, people. That is bleak. So good luck to you, people of Hong Kong. And boy howdy, when you see stuff like this, you're just like, I thank God I live in America. I thank God I live in America. I know we're not perfect, but man, nobody else is coming close.